Maritime transport is one of the pillars of international trading, with more than 80% of world trade dependent on ocean transport. For Australia, 99% of our exports are transported by sea. Two of New South Wales' major ports, Port Botany and Port Kembla, contribute $13.6 billion each year to our state's economy. None of this is possible without the work of seafarers. Seafarers' work goes largely unseen, far from the eyes of authorities. Ships sailing abroad move between jurisdictions with differing rules and regulations. It is grueling, dangerous work with long periods on board and extensive working hours. Due to the isolated nature of the job, many seafarers deal with exploitation at the hands of ship owners. The Maritime Union of Australia and the International Transport Workers Federation work tirelessly to improve seafarers' conditions. On 13 June, Paddy Crumlin, the National Secretary of the Maritime Union of Australia and President of the International Transport Workers Federation, and Ian Bray, the Coordinator of the Australian Inspectorate of the International Transport Workers Federation, launched the Nowhere to Hide campaign. Over the week of action, inspectors from the International Transport Workers Federation inspected 77 ships coming into ports in New South Wales, giving ship owners nowhere to hide if they were bullying and harassing workers, failing to pay workers, failing to provide workers with medical care, not allowing workers entitled to return to their home countries to be repatriated, or not allowing workers to take shore leave, that is, take time off the ship while it's in port. In particular, inspectors were watching out for ships coming through ports owned in one country but flying the flag of another country. This flag of convenience allows the owners to operate under another country's regulations and laws that may be laxer on workers' wages and conditions, leaving more workers vulnerable to underpayment and poor working standards. Through their inspections over the week, inspectors from the International Transport Workers Federation helped to provide health care for 3 workers, shore leave for workers on 2 ships, trips home for 6 seafarers, and essential supplies like food and water for 3 ships. As reported by ABC News, throughout the Nowhere to Hide campaign, inspectors from the International Transport Workers Federation identified at least $4 million worth of wages owed to seafarers. Before the week of action started, the International Transport Workers Federation had already detected at least $7 million in unpaid seafarer wages just this year. Without the work of the International Transport Workers Federation inspectors, none of these wages could be recovered, so I commend them for their work. I want to acknowledge Paddy Crumlin, the National Secretary of the Maritime Union of Australia and President of the International Transport Workers Federation, and Ian Bray, the Coordinator of the Australian Inspectorate of the International Transport Workers Federation, for bringing the issue of seafarers' wage theft to my attention. I met Ian Bray and heard Paddy Crumlin speak at the Mission to Seafarers luncheon here in Parliament House that I attended at the invitation of Bernie Farrelly, who's the project manager of the Tasbull Seafarers. The Tasbull Seafarers do meaningful work. I previously raised to the attention of the House their Seafarer Connect project that provides free Wi-Fi access to seafarers. Seafarers do extremely important work and they deserve the recognition. Madam Deputy President, this is a chronic problem. This is wage theft at sea because ship owners are able to use flag of convenience, that is, register a ship in one country where the labour laws might be a lot more lax, even though the ship is owned in another country. It's something that we should be focused on, and that legislation needs to come up to speed to close loopholes and stop these labour standards deteriorating. One of the suggestions from the International Transport Workers Federation is to consider formal recognition of the work of the International Transport Workers Federation inspectors and facilitate information sharing between the international transport workers and the regulators, and also closing loopholes and expanding existing legislation working labour standards for the maritime industry into trade agreements. It's a very important cause, and I want to thank them for all the work they do. Thank you.